Hey guys, what's up? Angren with my final Path of Exile 1 Legacy of Phrecia build guide, and today I want to show you my Blade Vortex Bog Shaman life stacker build. It is a really good build to blow up the whole screen with like Obliteration or Forbidden Flame and Forbidden Flash, and it can also be a really good Ultimatum farmer which can do a lot of currency. One note, it kinda needs 15 to 20 divines to start feeling good, so take that as notes. It is not a starter if you're gonna start with this build into the league. Check out my Lightning Strike build guide where I have a multiple series of it, and then start to save your currency for this build. So what are the strong sides of this build? Well, it is really easy because you're gonna sacrifice your life. You don't want to just spam your Blade Vortex because then you're gonna get killed, and that's also one of the best parts because you're gonna have all of your setups with like Mageblood. Okay, it is kind of expensive, but if you have your wall setup, you're gonna press your Righteous Fire, and then you're gonna press your Blade Vortex, and then you're zooming around, and every 4 to 8 seconds, based on how good your gear is, you're gonna press that button again, and then the stuff just dies. So it's a pretty chill build to play, but you need to solve some things. I solved them on my own, so I got the basic concept of the build from POE Ninja. So first of all, we gotta go now through the build and what do you need to set up the basic cost of this build, and I will also tell you what things you should upgrade and when you should upgrade and which things are really important. First of all, for your rotation, it is really simple. Wait until your Blade Vortex hits 4 stages, then press it after, then just run around and also hit the enemies with power siphon, so you will get more power charges, and it is important especially for bosses, so they will take more damage. And also activate Righteous Fire only if you have Rational Doctrine, and also activate your Wild Blade Vortex if you have it up. And you can also run around either with your shield charge after you cast your Blade Vortex, or you can also run through enemies with your Whirring Step after you casted your Blade Vortex, so they will get even more damage. How this life second gonna work? Well, you can see I don't have any energy shield, and that's because of our Ascendency of the Sanguine power, so it removes all energy shield, and we're gonna gain maximum life instead of maximum energy shield from equipped armor items. So you wanna have an energy shield base on all of your items, and also you wanna stack as much energy shield as you can, so you're gonna get more life, because more energy shield means also more life. So that's the one principle of this build. And then, as I said, you're gonna use sacrifice. You're gonna sacrifice a portion of your max life to deal more damage, and so you're more life you're gonna have, the more you're gonna do. And with Obliteration, we're gonna blow up the screen with our explosions, because we're gonna do chaos damage with our Blade Vortex. Later in the stages, when you got a really good gear with on the 300, 400 gives invested, you can go for a rare one, but yeah, don't really need it at the beginning. And also you're gonna have some crazy life rack. So right now I got in-game 1100 life rack, but it can get way higher. If I gonna get my Bottle Faith, I have around 1400 life rack, so yeah, that's pretty good, and I'm gonna regenerate pretty fast. As you can see, you can get us even higher, and we're gonna do some things to make sure that we're gonna deck with those things. So we're gonna use the Rat Globe. So we're gonna sacrifice 10% of our life when we use or trigger a spell skill. We're gonna get more spell critical strike chance for every 100 maximum life, and also more spell damage per 100 per maximum life. So as you can see, we just gonna take all of our life. So life is our death as also our off. We don't have any spell suppression or other things. Also, thanks to this Supreme Oscillation, we don't any attribute requirements, so that's also nice. And in basic, we're just gonna stack our life. As you can see, I got all of the 6 life nodes, so we're gonna get our life mastery full in swing. So for you, in principle, just stack life, get your resistance, and I will also tell you when you can use things like Righteous Fire, what you should take as amulet and what things you should upgrade. I will also talk about the Mageblood and what you're gonna use instead of Mageblood and what you can use. So first of all, for our gear, let's gonna start for the weapon. As I said, obliteration, nothing really special. It is really cheap. So now our armor. So get armor with a high energy shield base and also get an armor with gain endurance charge every 15 seconds, because with that we're gonna have a passive endurance charge generation, and we always gonna have endurance charges. That is really nice. And also the physical damage from hits taken as fire damage is also good, because we plan to have a higher resp because also of our righteous fire, so we're gonna get less damage. And for the stats of your armor, get energy shield and take care that you don't have any max life or any life on your body armor. It is also strength, so you will get a 15% increased maximum life on your body armor. You can fill it up with some res or maybe some spell suppression, but you don't really need that. You can either craft it by yourself or just buy it. I bought it because I am not in the crafting scenario right now. The helmet, also energy shield base, get a lich circlet with 6% of physical damage from hits taken as fire damage, the same, and a 30% increased spell critical strike chance, and also get increased energy shield on that. Also increased life regeneration rate is also really important, and also get some max life on it, so you will have an even larger life pool. For your gloves, try to get a chaos damage leech as life, so you have a nice life leech portion and also a chance to unlife enemies for 4 seconds on hit. It's nice, but you can get other implicits on it. And for the rest of the part, get max energy shield, some life, and also some lightning rest, and you can also craft increased life regeneration rate on your gloves. For your boots, you can get different kind of versions, so I went with increased life regeneration rate and maximum fire rest as my implicits, and max energy shield, max life, and also some max mana and increased life regen rate on the boots. But you also can take like more movement speed or chance to gain onslaught on kill, such things that will boost your damage even more, but that will be really expensive. So I think get around 2 diff for the boots, like 1 diff for the gloves, 2 diff for the helmet, or 5 diff for the Twilight Regalia, 1.5 diff for each of the rings. So yeah, for the rings, get as much max life you can, because more max life will means more damage attributes. You don't really need it because of our passive, which will come later, and also get some Elares if you need it. We're gonna have Defiance of Destiny, so we are still overcapped. So yeah, it's not that important. If you can get it, get a ring with like 200 max life, but that will be really important. And you can also get a ring with us despair on hit, but that will also be really expensive, but it's at least an upgrade. And also a Wrathpith Globe, that's not that important. I think 0.5 diff. And also for the last part, and there are multiple things you can take. So for the really cheap version, you can go for Elite Amulet. It is really nice because it will give you some huge damage. Take this as your ultra budget setup. Then you can either go for a implicit Eyes of the Great Wolf, more increased maximum life and physical damage reduction, but if you're gonna get physical damage reduction and 22% max life, it will cost around 3 or 4 diff. But you can also take Defiance of Destiny. This changed a lot for me, and this also saved me from like kind of weird one shots where I just got melted in 1 second, because gain 21% of missing unreserved life before hit by an enemy. So that's really nice. So we're gonna have a pretty high death mechanic with this amulet, and in addition it will give us fire, cold, and lightning rest. That's also really nice. And as Anoint, we're gonna get the Forces of Darkness, which will penetrate 15% chaos rest. So yeah, in my opinion, Defiance of Destiny is better if you won't have 28% max life Eyes of the Great Wolf, but I think it's around 20 or 30 diff, and the Defiance of Destiny is for around 4.5 diff. So yeah, get the Defiance of Destiny. That made a huge defensive jump for me. So now for the last part, the Mageblood. So Mageblood will definitely skyrocket this build even more, because with Mageblood and also our tool, the Rational Doctrine, we also can use Righteous Fire, and we're gonna have Perma extra, and it will be really good, especially for bosses. So yeah, you can get a Topaz Flask, a Sapphire Flask, a Quicksilver Flask, Pass and a Ruby Flask with that, and you're gonna just cap your res with these flasks alone and with the Defiance of Destiny. If you don't have a Mageblood yet, you need to get the res on your other pieces, so you can get just raw energy shield. You need like res on here, you need like res on here, and also you need like higher res rolls on your Defiance of Destiny, but you can also cap it without your Mageblood. You will still go for the same flask, but you will get the implicit that you will get a recharge of the flask if you're gonna it, and then just use them whenever they are full on their charges. And also if you don't have Mageblood and if you're still capped, you can also, or like Headhunter, it is really good for mapping. And other than that, just take a rare stitching wise with some max life and some nice notes. As I said, for the flask, Cobalt Flask, Sapphire Flask, Quicksilver Flask, and Ruby Flask, you will go for increased crit strike chance during effect, also reduce effect of curse and effect, increase movement speed during effect, and at least one portion of chance to avoid being shocked during effect. I will come to that later. It is because of our Storm Shroud that will make us completely ailment immune. And for your last flask, go for the Bottle Faith. I test out some other things like the Ruby's Flask or Earth, and we're gonna get more explodey damage, but honestly Bottle Faith will give us so much life regen. We're also gonna get increased critical strike chance and more damage while we're gonna stay in our consecrated ground. So yeah, get that. It's around 4 diff, totally worth it. Okay, now for our tools. So there are some basic tools you need. You need like again Hubris with the Comrade Hero and the Conquered by the Eternal Empire. So you're gonna have the Supreme Oscillator, ignore attribute requirements, gain or inherent bonus from attributes. So that means that you can just slot in whatever you want and you don't need to get your attributes. And I also took one that gave me a chance to get a Frenzy Charge on hit. That is really important. So we're gonna have a Frenzy Charge generation and also chance to avoid being shocked with that, and also with my flask and the Storm Shroud I am completely immune. For the next part, the next tools, they're really good and they will really help you. 3 cluster tools, I think they're each around 4 to 6 diff. Is a large cluster tool with Touch of Cruelty, Unspeakable Gifts, and also Unwavering Evil. So we're gonna get increased chaos damage and chaos skills, ignore interruption from stuns. We also have another portion of Explode, which is also really nice, and with Touch of Cruelty, our chaos spells have 10% chance to hinder enemies on hit, hinder reduce movement speed by 30%. Also, then they're gonna get more chaos damage. And for the medium cluster tool, it is also like this, as I said, we are gonna get Overwhelming Malice that will give us Unholy Might, and Unholy Might grants 100% of physical damage converted to chaos damage and 25% chance to apply Withered on hit, and Withered on hit is like even more chaos damage. So yeah, it is really important. Get this as soon as you can. Also pressure points or critical strike have a 5% chance to deal double damage and also more crit chance. And then also for the other part, get one with Towering Threat. We have increased max life, increased area effect, and also increased area effect if we're gonna kill at least 5 enemies recently. And then I also got the Racial Doctrine. We're also gonna have the Storm Shroud. It is 1 diff now. It is really important, so we're gonna be ailment immune, so we have an even larger health pool to spend on our edge. So I will also come to things like Racial Doctrine later, but it is kind of an upgrade. We're gonna talk about that later. Also for the rest of your tools, just get tools with max life, global crit strike multi, increased crit strike chance, and bonus you can also get one with Corrupted Blood cannot be inflicted on you, so that's also nice. You don't need to get this on your flask. And also you need a Watcher's Eye, which is also I think around 4 diff with increased life recovery rate while affected by vitality. And I think it's like the base one that will scale with your multiplier, so will give you at least 100 or 150% more. Okay, now we talked about the gear and the tools. If you have some questions regarding the tools and the gear, ask them in the comments down below. Now we gonna talk about the skills and after that about our passive trees. So for our skills, we're gonna have the Blade Vortex with the Wild Blade Vortex. It is really nice. The Wild Blade Vortex will do a lot of damage with 20% quality. Just get one with 20% quality and Wild Blade Vortex on POE trade. We're also gonna have 3 critical strikes from a crit strike chance. Also we're gonna have Awaken Unleash, and that's really important. You need Awaken Unleash level 5, so you're gonna have additional maximum seal of 4. If you don't have Awaken Unleash 5 yet, or if you don't have any Awaken Unleash yet, you will need to go for Caster Mastery So you're gonna socket in mental rapidity, and then you're gonna get your skills supported by Unleash, have +1 to maximum number of heals. So if you only have a normal Unleash, get the caster mastery. If not, then get your Awaken Unleash. You can also get a Beast, will give you +1 to levels of your Awaken skill gems. So take the short path. It is around 30 to 35 C per Beast, so you need around 120 to 150 C to get this to level 5. And also get Awaken Mind Manipulation. I think it was kind of cheap. Sacrifice and also increase crit damage support. For your next slots, go for Flesh and Stone, Celadry, Herald of Ash, and also Enlighten. You need a level 3 Enlighten to support all of your auras. And yeah, I recognize I also need to get the quality on my Herald of Ash. I will do that on after the video. For the next skill, go for Vitality, Arrogance, and also Precision. So you're gonna get this with your life served. We need Arrogance so we can reserve our spells. For movement spell, go for Shield Charge, Frostblink, and also fast attacks. You're gonna only use Frostblink if you need to get over walls, and your Shield Charge for general movement speed. As I said, yeah, I need to get Chem Cutters on my skills. And for the next skill, take Righteous Fire with more duration, Withering Step, and also Enhance. The Withering Step will be activated after you casted your Blade Vortex, and then you're gonna inflict Wither and you're gonna do even more chaos damage. And for our last setup, go for Assassin's Mark, Life Tap Support, Mark on Hit, and Power Siphon. So it is really important to just cast a Power Siphon if you activated your Blade Vortex, so the enemies get infected by your Assassin's Mark and you're gonna get a power charge. It is really important for bosses. Just press your Blade Vortex. Then go for Power Siphon and affect them with your marks. If you also have some questions regarding the skills, let me know them in the comments down below. So also for a Catalyst, I didn't get them now because yeah, they are really expensive and the rings are not worth for it. Go for life and mana modifiers on your rings, and you can also get your life modifier on your amulet so you get more max life. And for your belt, get the attribute modifiers, where you can also get like your resistance modifiers. First Ascendency, also your order. For the beginning, we'll get your Toad pack. You're gonna get more projectile speed, then you're gonna get wild impressions, so your nearby enemies are affected by malediction as curse, and you also have increased reservation efficiency of curse aura skills. And for your third Ascendency, you will wait until you have enough energy shield here, and then you're gonna go for Sanguine Power. And for your fourth Ascendency choice, go for Felpans. So your chaos resistance is 0, but also the nearby enemies chaos resistance is also 0. So only start with Blade Vortex when you can take Obliteration, like I think 68 or 78 for that just level with any leveling build. So for your skilltree, take whatever life nodes you can get. It is also important because of our Dream Oscillation, we don't get any bonuses from our strength, int, or max appliance. So yeah, get your max life, also get every life mastery node. So we're gonna have 10% more maximum life if we have at least 6 life mastery allocated. Also take a quick recovery, also get your reservation mastery so you can reserve all of your skills, get amplify, also get discipline and training for more max life, get your jewel sockets, also get endurance for more power charges, get your cluster jewels as I said, and also nomadic teachings, and get your tireless here and your potency of wills for more increased skill effect duration for your Blade Vortex, also some jewel sockets, but in general get all of your life nodes as you can get for tattoos on the skill tree. It is really important that your life rack of the tattoo of the Tukohama Shaman, I think it's around 10 to 20 C, you will get even more of your life rack because you don't need any attributes thanks to our transform node through Elegant Hubris. So it's important to get the Elegant Hubris and also get your increased chaos damage of the tattoo of the Tawahara warrior on your int nodes. It is important for 2 parts because one part you will do even more damage, and for the second part, for Racial Doctrine, you need to get strength and intelligence at the same time to be your highest attributes. And how do you get it? Well, you just need to make sure that int and strength are at the same number at the same time, and also that your dex is not higher than your int and strength. So equip your tools until you have the same strength and int, and you can also help with that with even Mageblood or something like a tool that gives you some dex or some strength. With that setup, your basic setup with this build should be fine. So which upgrades you should acquire first? So first of all, I would advise you to get the Bottle Faith. It will give you a ton of life rec. Get your Defiance of Destiny after you got Malines, and after you acquired that things and you have your standard setup, you can get some more energy shield on your items, also like Onslaught and Kill on your boots if it's around 2, 3 or 5 or 5 diff. But after that, you will try to get 30 diffs. I know it is really much, but try to get a 30 diff for Rational Doctrine, because it will give you such a high boost. You have Consecrated Crown around you stationary if strength is your highest attribute, and also 25 chance to create Profane Crown and Criticals, like if intelligence is your highest attribute. So because my strength right now, I don't have the effect of both, because I made some adjustments, but try to get strength and intelligence at the same amount of your value, because if you have the same value for int and your strength, you're gonna have the bonus of both active, and then it will be really good. And after that, you have acquired your Rational Doctrine, you can also get your Righteous Fire going, because before that, honestly, sometimes it feels really weird and you can just die from it. And after that, you can upgrade your tools with the Broken Bloom Ascendency from the Witch, so you get even more explodey things, and then you can upgrade your wand with a rare one with like 30 and 40 diff, and after that, honestly, you will be so strong that things doesn't matter any longer, and just get a mage pot if you can, but you should be really strong afterwards. We'll also put a Char Planner in the comments down below. If you have any other questions, please ask them in the comments down below. Otherwise, I hope I could show you my semi-crafted build that I put together before I will go off to POE2. I had a lot of fun in Legacy of Phrecia build. I will also put out one more build guide for the Ultimatum farmer. And if you like this video, please leave a like and a sub. It would boost my channel tremendously. And also follow me on Twitch, where I will also stream multiple times a week. And until next time, bye.